Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV. Dear viewers, the authorities are working around the clock to host, on behalf of the African continent, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, the COP27, which is due to be held in Sharm el-Sheikh on November 6th till the 18th of 2022. This year's international gathering aims to establish legally binding commitments for developed countries to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. Egypt focuses on urgent and priority issues in the African continent, especially, and in developing countries in general, such as adaptation and climate finance. And to shed more light on Egypt's preparations to host this significant event, we're honored to host Dr. Dina Gharabawy, Sustainable Development Researcher. A very good day, Doctor, and it's a pleasure to have you with us in today's episode of Nile Cruise.
Thank you so much, and it has been always a pleasure to be here in Nile TV International.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dina. And allow me to start by asking you about the youth's role in COP27. I mean, you're part of the youth yourself. You just graduated 2 years ago from the Faculty of Medicine. So we know that Dr. Ashraf Sobhi, the Minister of Youth and Sports, and Dr. Hala Saeed, the Minister of Planning and Economic Development, are preparing to celebrate Youth Day at the COP27 summit. So from your point of view, how important is the youth's role indeed in such a summit?
Yeah, okay, so I would love to share with you what happened back to 2019 when I was nominated to participate in the climate change agenda organized by the United Nations. And actually I was impressed by the number of people who participated in the summit. And what happened is I was fascinated by the organizers because they have been young people. Like the maximum age was 25 years old, and I was fascinated by giving them the opportunity to speak, because youth has to have a place on the table as well. So since we are speaking about climate and climate change comes from within. So if we're interested to change something, we need to make sure that youth are participating so that they can play a role with the technology part. Because if we have a strategic planner who is like 20 years experience or 30 years experience, we need to have the performer, the one who has the most impressive energy, and the one who can execute the plan. And I was impressed as well by young people who have the ability to plan as well, and they do participate with their opinions about strategic planning. And I also need to highlight the importance of the support that the Ministry of Investment is giving to young people, because this year the Ministry of Investment is supporting the startups with the agenda of climate change. And you can check on the social platforms the amount of partnerships that the Ministry of Investment is doing with the Ministry of Development, so that we can achieve the goal, the 17th goal, which is the climate change. And I also need to highlight the importance of participating in conferences and summits, because we cannot know the updates in the Sustainable Development Goals unless we participate in the conferences. That's why young people, not only with the maximum age of 25, it's still 35 and 40 years old. I'm afraid that we need to have a lot of awareness campaigns so that we can orient people that you don't have to do so much so that you can participate. Change comes from within. If the government is organizing a lot of conferences and a lot of events, we need to make sure that people at their homes can have an access to that. That's why the technology part is really important. Who represents technology? Young people. That's why young people are like one of the most fundamental parts of achieving the sustainable development goals, especially the climate change. And lastly, I need to highlight, or I need to be grateful for the location of the interview today. Or it's not a studio. It's we are in the arms of the nature. That's why we need to reduce the artificial lighting. We need to be to have to spend more time in the nature and the greenhouses. And later on this interview, I will share an experience about transforming the roofs of the houses to be more into green, and to maximize the green spaces. Even if we don't have that much land, we can do that. But later on, I can share that with you. Thank you.
Dr. Dina, how do you view the ongoing preparations to host the COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh?
Yeah, I do love Sharm el-Sheikh because actually my first conference was about peace, and I was representing Egypt as well, and my faculty medicine, and I felt the vibes of peace there in Sharm el-Sheikh. So it's the best location so that we can represent nature and the climate change. So I do love how the government appreciated the guests who are coming from all around the world. And you can feel the hospitality because we have changed the infrastructure so that we can be we can represent the hospitality of Egypt and Sharm el-Sheikh. And also, I need to highlight how the government highlighted the role of young people in the planning of the event as well, because it's not only an event or speeches that people are just coming to just say something that is well prepared before. No, we have a lot of events, we have a lot of workshops, and also we have a lot of execution agendas. Like we don't listen to a speech and okay, let's clap and that's it. No, we have projects coming out of the conferences. And also the youth day, I can feel the role that the government is doing regarding the like highlighting the importance of youth there, because it can be a one day conference that people are coming just to share their ideas and that's it. So the participants are sustainable development experts, strategic planners, young people from different countries, and young people from different backgrounds as well. My major was medicine, and I became a sustainable development researcher. Two different majors, but I managed to do all of that because I was attending such conferences. So by the end of the day, we need to highlight the importance of mixing different activities in the shadow of the conference. So having a workshop with plans and then projects coming out of the workshops, this is our first step so that we can apply the ideas and we can transform knowledge into projects on real life. That's why I do love that the conference is not the typical conference. It's not the typical event. We have a lot of events with different days, with different agendas, so that we can apply the projects by the end of the day. Yeah.
Well, Dr. Dina, there will be a lot of conflicts of interests at the summit. So I wonder, you as a representative of the Egyptian youth, what do you think your role will be when you try to convince youth from the developed world that Egypt and Africa are suffering from something that they did not commit, something that we didn't do anything. We didn't really pollute the environment as much as the developed countries have. So we, the developing nations, are suffering more. So, I mean, could you tell us about examples of your talk with your peers from youth from the rest of the world? That's the first part of the question. And the second part is, do you think that the world, under Egypt's leadership this time in Sharm el-Sheikh, will come to some sort of consensus on the importance of imminently solving this problem of climate change?
Yes, for sure. Okay, so thank you for asking me such a question, because we don't need to speak that much. We need to speak actions. So how the youth can participate is not only about young people being participated. No, we need to discuss how they get involved into the whole thing. So firstly, we need to start by the awareness campaigns. There is something in the soft skills called the art of giving a feedback. If I need to break bad news for people, I don't need to tell or to blame or to tell people, okay, the change is happening and it's all because of you. You are the most mistaken creature on earth. No, we have to start by the art of giving a feedback. We have to break the bad news gently. So, and by the way, I was impressed by or surprised that people think that only government has to take care of the climate change. I can ask people in the street right now, do you just unplug the socket, the electricity, and take the socket, you know, if you are charging your cell phone or your laptop, do you take it off? Do you unplug it? No, people just consume energy and they don't feel the importance or the responsibility they have towards such an energy. So we need to orient people that it's simple. You can start by yourself, and young people who are mainly university students can arrange awareness campaigns in the university campuses so that they can orient their peers and colleagues inside of the university campuses. And I do really appreciate that not only the university, the Cairo University, like all over Egypt, the deans of the universities are supporting young people to have student activities, and they are giving them the permission so that they can have the awareness campaigns organized inside of the university campus. So if I educated the most young person in the family, and the most powerful one, by the way, they are full of energy, and they are aged between 18 to 25 years old, they can come back home telling their parents that if we try to minimize our consumption to energy, the change can happen. I know that it's not that much, you know, it's not the impact is not that much touched, but we need to start by simple steps. And also, the rule of the Ministry of Investment, we need to support businesses who or which their, you know, their job description or their main goal is to serve the climate change. And I can tell you that a lot of businesses right now are running on solar energy and green spaces. That's why it's not a rule that the individual can take care of. It's a social responsibility that all of us are a big part of. And that's why I do believe that it starts by awareness. How can someone execute something that they are not even aware of? That's why we need to start by awareness. In universities, in the streets, and everything will come back home. And by the end of the day, we need also to highlight the importance of the media. On TV, we need to have the awareness campaigns going through TV and the social media as well, because you can find climate change there on your phone. You can find climate change there on TV just while you're watching your movie. So you will feel it happening, and you will feel it around you everywhere, in the metro station, in the street, you're watching TV, on Facebook. Each and everywhere you will find climate change. That's why we need to have the social media and the TV involved in the awareness campaigns. Yes. Yes. Yeah, okay. Thank you for that question, because actually I I do believe that social media is really, really, really powerful, and I do believe that we like. If you checked right now how many people are online right now at this moment, you will find a lot of people online. Like most of people are online, and even some people are online taking courses or for educational purposes. So the social media is running on ads on the campaigns. So if we introduced the climate change awareness into social media, I'm afraid that we have to take care of the language that we are speaking to people. Again, we cannot speak blame. We need to speak how to resolve the issue, how people can participate, how people can feel the responsibility. So I do suggest, and it happens already, that the non-governmental organizations cooperate together so that they can develop strategies, so that they can involve people who are not NGOs members. Like, we need to approach the groups of mummies for the schools. We need to have like on WhatsApp, maybe the admin of the group can share with a group of parents for a school the importance of educating their children about that. For the e-commerce or the electronic commerce, if we can just have a space, an electronic space or a digital space, so that we can tell people a learning bite about the sustainable development. We don't have to tell people, okay, it's a 1 hour session that you have to attend, and it's taking a lot out of your time. No, it's just learning, a small learning bite. And also we need to make sure that the message is being interactive. It's not a video that someone is speaking, you will scroll up or down, you will not watch the content. So we need to develop a simple content that is very easy to understand, and the language itself is not full of blame. It's full of positivity and full of an approach that people can know how they can participate in the change. Yes.
Dr. Dina Gharabawy, Sustainable Development Researcher.